Very interesting. And how do you go about, with a relatively small staff and budget, how do you go about making sure that people across the city sort of know that you're someone and your office is somewhere to come to for any issue they might be
So
having?
we're lean, but we're mean, and and we're also very active, and we engage in a lot of outreach in all 5 boroughs, and that's really critically important. But I think what's most important about this office is that the office of the City Council and the Public Advocate have basically operated in separate silos, and I want to remove that wall of separation, and that's why I've been very active in the City Council, introducing legislation, attending hearings, and presiding over the City Council, and just continuing to have a dialogue and a relationship with 51 members of the City Council so we can get a sense of what's happening in their respective districts, because all of them together obviously encompass represent the entire city of New York, and that's really important to me and to this office.
In the mayor's initial budget, in his preliminary budget, there's a little bit more money in it for the public advocate office and the borough president's offices. So are you hopeful that that's gonna be the final budget, and what does that mean to you moving forward?
Obviously, this is a citywide office, and there's a lot of issues that need to be resolved, and we really need presence in all 5 boroughs. And so we're hoping that the budget is restored in a way which is consistent with its citywide presence and its citywide significance, and is consistent with the charter of the City of New York. We serve on a number of commissions, we serve on a number of boards, and it's really difficult to do that with a staff of about 20 individuals.
With that extra money, you'd hope to expand that staff by 5, 6, 10 people maybe?
So we haven't received the money as of yet, and we're waiting until the executive budget before we go forth with a plan.
So I know from just being all over the city, that you're at events all day, every day, and every night, and all weekend.
It's pretty sad.
I'm curious just how you sort of decide what events you can get to and what events you can't, and then also, how do you find time to actually sort of have quiet time and read? Not personal reading, even just reading up for the job. How do you read up on litigation or issues, or how do you, when do you get briefed by your staff? Those types of things. So first, how do you decide on sort of which events you can make and which you can, and then also where do you find that time for the work?
Me personally, I'm focused on social justice and inequality and poverty. I've been talking about these issues for a very, very long time, long before it became a cause. When I was in the City Council, I think I was elected in 2003 in the aftermath of the assassination of James Davis. And I remember, sitting in my office in Fort Greene, looking out the window, looking at a church, or passing by a church, which is around the corner from my office. And there was a bread line, a food pantry, and the line snaked around the corner. And then I went into Crown Heights, which is part of the district, and I saw the same thing. And so I remember approaching, I think the speaker at that time was Gifford Miller, and I asked Gifford Miller that we really need to have a food pantry initiative to support food pantries, because I was really concerned about what I was seeing on the ground, growing poverty. And so he put forth the food pantry initiative, which is now expanded. And so I've been talking about this issue and the fact that individuals were having a difficult time making ends meet, and they were still working. I've been talking about displacement and the crisis in affordable housing for a long time. I've witnessed it in my district. We did the rezoning in downtown Brooklyn. It was supposed to yield all of this affordable housing. It did not. It was a great disappointment. I went back to the Bloomberg administration on several occasions to try to get more affordable housing. We unfortunately, the affordable housing in downtown Brooklyn is still minimal. And then I saw this all over the city of New York as a result of these rezonings and the minuscule amount of affordable housing in a lot of these market rate housing. And so this is an issue that I've been talking about for a long time, and now it's bubbled up to the point where we've got a crisis in affordable housing, we've got homelessness at record levels, and we've got food pantries and individuals who are struggling to make ends meet, and these are working citizens in the city of New York. And I am so happy that it's achieved the status and this front page status, and that Mayor de Blasio has talked about it in his inauguration, talked about it during the campaign. But these are issues that I and members of the city council have been talking about for a long period of time, and I just so whenever there's any meetings or hearings or subjects or issues that come to my attention, which encompass those themes, that's usually what attracts me. In addition to that, women. I'd like to empower women. I'd like to uplift women. I like to attract more women, invite more women into politics, and let them know about the profession of politics and about journalism and about about the feminization of poverty, and that's who I am.